start with this moderator.
I love that energy in the room. Very good. Welcome everybody to the Toronto mayoral debate held for Scarborough residents and hosted by the Canadian Tamil Congress. Scarborough is the home to many great talents. We can boast being the hometown of musicians like the Bare Naked Ladies, comedians like Mike Myers, and one of the first Canadian NBA players like Jamal Magloire, and a dozen of NHL players. Scarborough is also home to great landscapes, the Bluffs, the Rouge River, Highland Creek, and other such beautiful sites for people to explore and experience. More proudly, Scarborough is the home to a diverse and rich group of residents, hailing from all parts of the world, and now who we all call this beautiful city of Toronto home. But Scarborough has also, at times, gotten the short end of the stick when it comes to municipal affairs. Yeah. So today, we will be hearing from the leading mayoral candidates for the 2014 mayoral race on matters regarding all of Torontonians, but more specifically, matters that are near and dear to Scarborough residents. I'd like to thank the 5 candidates, Ms. Olivia Chow, Mr. Rob Ford, thank you, Mr. David Sobnaki, Ms. Karen Stintz, and Mr. John Torrey. I'd like to thank all of them for joining the candidate campaign today. Now I'd like to go over some house rules and some acknowledgments. Firstly, like I said, we love the energy, but we're asking that everybody keep it respectful and polite while this event is going. These 5 candidates have done a lot to come here and join us to inform us, so we ask that you keep it polite and respectful. Secondly, I'd like to start with some acknowledgments. Firstly, let me introduce to you the host organization that has worked hard to put this organization together, Canadian Tamil Congress. The Canadian Tamil Congress, commonly referred to as CTC, is a non-for-profit organization with chapters coast to coast. The organization strives to foster Canadian values of equality, volunteerism, human rights, and multiculturalism in all the work that they do. Headquartered in Toronto, CTC strives to be the voice of Tamil Canadians and represents the community's concerns on municipal, provincial, and federal levels. Thank you again to CTC for hosting this beautiful event. Some more housekeeping rules. Washrooms are out the back, to your right and to your left. Emergency exits, as you see, there's 2 here and all the way in the back. Not saying that there's going to be an emergency, but just in case if you guys need to know. Rules of audience participation. As mentioned before, please keep everything respectful and polite. As you were coming in, everybody must have received some papers. Those papers are for questions that we're going to be collecting and selecting to ask the questions on the second half of this event. So please write your questions on that paper or any paper that you have and pass it along to the back. We'll be collecting it up till 7:30. So after every question is finished, we will have runners running up the aisles. So please write your questions and pass it along to your neighbors till they get to the end of the aisle. Our runners will run across after the end of the question period and collect your questions. And we'll have a committee of 3 people selecting your questions. We can only, it's a limited time, we can only select from 4 to 6 questions depending on timing. We hope that we can address most of your questions. Let me quickly acknowledge the committee members who are going to be selecting the questions. Lee Soda, the Executive Director of Agent Toward Community Services Association. Mike Adler, a senior journalist from the Scarborough Mirror. And Amarnath Amarasingham, a postdoctoral fellow from Dalhousie University. We'd like to also acknowledge some public officials that are here and candidates that are here. Councillor Glenn de Meermaker, our councillor on this board. Can you please stand up? Former Speaker Dr. Alvin Curling is here as well. Councillor Doug Ford is here as well. York Regional School Board Trustee Juanita Nathan is here as well. And Liberal nomination candidate Gary Anand Sangri is here as well. And I apologize if I've missed anyone who's here. Please, if you do, grab me or grab anybody who has a volunteer leg and we'll acknowledge you at the end of the event. We'd like to also make 3 more acknowledgements before I hand it off to the moderator. Firstly, our media sponsor CMR 101.3 FM for doing a great job of advertising and getting people out here. Secondly, organizing these events for a non-for-profit is not cheap, so we'd like to thank our sponsor, Ideal Developments, for sponsoring this important event. And lastly, a big vote of thanks to the United Kingdom Ministries, the host of this organization. Let's give them a round of applause. This host has gone above and beyond consistently for all our efforts and sort of have you at this beautiful venue to hear the candidates speak. Now, let me introduce to you the moderator who will be moderating this debate and making sure this is a live and vibrant and peaceful event. Mr. Chris Seeley. Chris Seeley has been a columnist and a member of the editorial board at the National Post since 2009, writing on federal, provincial, and municipal politics. He served as the Post City Hall columnist in 2010 and 2011, and he contributes to the weekly posted Toronto political panel. Thank you, Mr. Seeley, for joining us, and I'll hand it over to you now to take over the debate.
Well, thank you very much, and welcome everyone. Thanks for coming to tonight's debate, and thanks to the Canadian Tamil Congress for asking me to moderate, and thank you for the 5 candidates for joining us here tonight. Just before we get down to business, I will explain the format that we'll be following in our debate tonight. Essentially, we're going to start with opening statements. It'll be 2 minutes each. And then I'll be putting 3 quite broad policy-based questions to the candidates. These are issues that the Canadian Tamil Congress think will be of particular interest to the people in this room here tonight and to the people of Scarborough specifically. Each candidate will have a few minutes to address each of those questions, and then we'll have 5 minutes or so of back and forth debate between the candidates on those questions. When we're through with that, we'll have our questions from the audience, which I'm told will be displayed on that screen. And each candidate will have a minute or so to speak to each question. And finally, we'll have closing remarks. We'll be rotating through the candidates from my left to right, and offering each a chance to answer each question, or a question first. And if they're getting close to their